Hello, this is Dr. Martina, online sex therapist and sex educator. Welcome to our current first Tuesday of the month series. I'm doing one every month for the rest of the year. How to have better, with the topic how to have better sex in 2023. We are in the middle of one of the most important physiological component of our sexuality, and that is the arousal function. I mean, you are responsible for your arousal and your orgasm. How do you know what to do if you don't know how it functions? So we discussed the arousal reflex, how to recognize it and what it is. And then we talked about the arousal sources, what you can use to increase your arousal. We talked about the arousal journey or the arousal curve, which is a journey that gets you from point A to point B and how you take that journey. And today we're going to talk about the arousal mode. And that is how you move and use your body during that journey. The gentleman that coined the term arousal mode, his name is Jean-Yves Desjardins. He was a criminologist, a psychologist, and a clinical sexologist for 40 years. Unfortunately, he died a few years back. He was an amazing teacher. He also created the foundation of the sexological faculty at the University of Quebec in Montreal. And he was the founder of the International Institute of Sexocorporel, Sex and the Body. And what really attracted me, I was lucky enough to be invited to study Sexocorporel, and I did that for 8 years in Switzerland a few years back. And it's amazing how much I've learned there. The Institute was created for professionals like me who are in the field of human sexuality, and they want to go deeper and they want to learn more and they want to have more tools so they can help their clients in finding their optimized sexual experiences. One of the five, Sexocorporel is built on 5 concepts, and one of the concepts which has to do with the arousal mode, one of the concepts is that everything our body does it according to 3 laws. And these 3 laws are rhythm, muscle tone, and movement. So these 3 laws of the body, they determine all of our actions. And not only do they determine them, they also make it possible to influence our actions, our emotions, our feelings, and our perceptions in everyday life. And so also in our sexuality. It makes sense, doesn't it? Now, the arousal mode, which is the way we move our bodies, the way we use our bodies, that when we go from the initial sexual arousal to the orgasm, the arousal mode is defined how these 3 laws, the muscle tone, the rhythm, and the movement, is being used during the increase of arousal. Now, with that concept, he observed over the 40 years as a clinical sexologist, he observed many clients and peoples and studies too, and he came up with 5 different modes that people use in order for them to go on the journey to orgasm. Now, keep in mind that all of these 5 modes come with strength and 4 of them come with limitations. The archaic one. The archaic one is one that's popular with women, and the strength is that it will get you there most of the time, and the limitation is that it can be a little bit on the painful side because it comes with very high tension, muscle tension. The mechanical arousal mode is also popular, a little more popular with the man, but women, there's quite a few women too who have that arousal mode. And one of the strengths is too, it will get you there. One of the limitations is that the focus has to be, it's very narrow-mindedly on just the place of stimulation, and there's no margin of error, and it can sometimes feel like work. Then we got the vibrational one. The vibrational one is obviously one that can get you there too. And the limitation there, for instance, would be that it's hard to bring in a vibrational tool or something during couple sex. Then we got the undulating one, which is blissful and wonderful, and you can be totally enjoy with what you're feeling. But the limitation can be that it doesn't quite get you to the point of no return because the canalization of the energies actually is missing. And then the last one is the tilt. That includes the upper body as much as the lower body. So joy is one of the strengths, is joy that you feel during your orgasm. And there's actually no limitations with the tilt one. Now, we all have adapted to one of these. And you may ask yourself, why is this important to know what kind of mode you have? It is because, like I said, that everything that our body does is according to the 3 laws, and we can influence our body knowing how to use the muscles, knowing how to use the movement, and knowing how to use the rhythm that will fit your desire. So it is really beneficial to know what your mode is. Then it's beneficial to learn about it, what their limitations are and what the strengths are. And then also it's also beneficial to maybe have another mode too, because I use the vibrator when I'm by myself and when I masturbate, but when with a partner I have to kick in at a different mode because the vibrational one is not available to me with partner sex. So as you can see, there's a lot of information. So what I offer to you is for you to pick up the phone and call me for a 15-minute free consultation. And we can possibly find out what your mode is. I can give you some tips and at least to get you going. And if there's more interest for you to learn even more, then you'll come and see me. So that's the story about the arousal modes. I will see you again next month to the next first Tuesday session. But of course, I'll see you next week to another educational video. You have a great